Sabaha everybody and welcome back to the channel. One of the things that we always talk about is the importance of audio, but we don't have to break the bank to be able to actually get that experience. Enter the AI Micro from Rode. They offer us some of the best experiences to wireless solutions, and now they're giving us some of that expertise in a wired, small, form factor audio interface for our smartphones as well as our PCs. We're going to check it out. I'm going to share with you guys how does that work, as well as the ability of testing out a couple of microphones that Rode included in the package. We're talking about the smartlav Plus, I have to read that one, and of course the lavalier Go. This is TK and this is the Rode AI Micro. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So here's the package. Rode included a massive package. Of course, we have the AI Micro, we have the smartlav Plus, again, the new and improved version, lavalier Go. And the last thing here is by far one of the coolest accessories that they offer. It's called the mic drop. It's basically a very small weight that you put at the bottom of the microphone, and it enables you to drop it from the top of your shirt to the bottom without ever having to worry about where it actually has to go. It's very simple and very easy. But the star of the show is the AI Micro, and it is this little guy. It's an audio interface that features two microphone inputs, so that's microphone 1, microphone 2, and of course we also have the ability of using a monitoring port. This is the headphone jack. Now the funny thing is, any smartphone that you connect this to, actually this ends up becoming the headphone jack, even if your phone does not support a headphone jack, like let's say Xperia smartphones. So very simple. The interface uses a USB-C connector, and there are additional cables that we're going to talk about there. But let's go ahead and open up the boxes and I'll show you what comes in there. And here we have it. The AI Micro package comes straight with the AI Micro interface itself. We have a USB-C to USB Type A, a USB-C to C, and then we also have a USB-C to Lightning adapter, meaning it'll work with our Android, iOS, as well as our PCs. And for the PC, depending on what you want to use, you can use either USB-C to C or C to A, and it'll work perfectly for you. They also, of course, include a instruction manual, which also gives you the information for the applications that you can download to customize and upgrade the firmware on the AI Micro. Now on the left, we have the smartlav Plus. This is a TRRS connector type style microphone. It comes with its own little wind cover here that is automatically inserted that you can cover, as well as the clip and a nice little organization zip tie here on the left. Very nice and very easy, and again, this will plug in and work with almost anything. The AI Micro is smart enough to know if you're plugging a TRRS or a TRS connector microphone, and it'll work for you directly. But overall, this is going to be one of the microphones we're going to be testing today, and you're going to hear the different audio between the smartlav Plus and the lavalier Go, which again is a TRS, but of course gives us very similar experiences. Definitely sounds a little bit less bassy than what we have here with the smartlav Plus. Now, depending on the smartphone that you're using, it's pretty straightforward. Use the correct cable, plug in directly into the interface itself, and then your device will automatically recognize it. You'll notice there's two different applications for me right now, the Rode Central Mobile as well as the Rode Recorder. I'm just going to go right now to the Rode Central Mobile because I want to share with you guys what it looks like in there. Now, once it's opened up, it's pretty straightforward. We have a couple of options to be able to customize, but one of the main benefits is the ability of understanding the different modes. Out of the box, the audio configuration on the Rode AI Micro is configured to be a split mode, meaning channel 1 will be microphone 1 and channel 2 will be microphone 2, meaning the track or the audio track from each person is recorded separately. This is great for if you want to do your own personal editing later on and be able to customize your audio experience at that point in your editing software, so in your editing tool. And if you're not happy with that, you could definitely confirm and switch it over to stereo mode. Now, stereo mode uses only one of the microphones to provide you a stereo experience. If you want to be able to use both and combine them together, you can use merged mode, and that gives you the ability of combining both sides and still giving you that ability of having stereo audio. For me, I like to keep it in stereo mode only, stereo input 1, since I'm only recording myself for this video. We do have a low-cut filter built in here, as well as the ability, as you can see here, turning it on and off depending on the microphone that you're using. The other option that we have here is the ability of raising or reducing the volume on the monitoring headphone. So this is different if we're listening to audio through the phone. If you're listening to the audio playback while you're recording, you can increase it and turn it off, and you can actually also even turn on and turn off direct monitoring from the app. Now, the Rode Recorder application works very similarly to what we had directly with the Rode Central as far as configuring it. The only difference is here we actually have a few other options. So first and foremost, we have the ability of configuring our unit. So we can click that in there. It takes us in. We have the same options. We have stereo, split, and merged. Keep in mind that wherever you configure that option, the Rode will remember that for whatever device you connect it. So you don't need to customize this again once we have it the right way. You obviously have the high pass filter that you're able to turn on, direct monitoring. Here you notice we have a couple of options for that as opposed to just having it at 75. Configuring the audio between the two different interfaces, so either split, merged, or of course stereo. So stereo, you notice it combines. Merged gives you the tracks and you're able to see that, and then split you're able to configure that and of course adjust the volume. Really, really nice. Of course, direct monitoring, that's going to be for the audio there. We can record audio clips and listen to them. And of course, this is the library where you're able to interface with it. Very nice and very simple. And what I really like about it is when we use it with the video application here on Pixels, we're able to jump in and use it and select it as an audio input very easily. If you want to use it or not use it, it's going to be there and it's going to work perfectly. Let's not waste any time. We're going to test it out on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, on the Pixel 6 Pro, as well as the S21 Ultra, and of course, my Windows 11 PC. Starting off with the iPhone, this is going to be a simple plug and play. Use the correct adapter, USB-C to Lightning, and you're pretty much basically using it straightforward. Turn on the camera app and start recording. When you first plug it in, it does prompt you to install the Rode applications if you don't have them already. At least on my iPhone, it did recommend that. So I downloaded the Rode Recorder and the Rode Central application. Both of them are going to work pretty straightforward. Both of them can help us configure the actual system or the unit itself and update the firmware, although the recorder obviously is intended to record audio. So you're going to be able to use this with the camera application, pretty straightforward. Plug it in, switch on video, and whichever lens you're using, the audio will be coming straight from the Rode, the AI Micro, in whichever lavalier system that you're using. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Galaxy S21 Ultra. On most Galaxy devices that support the Pro mode within the video application, this is going to be pretty much a straightforward experience. Plug in the USB-C to USB-C cable, and then from there, go into Pro mode, select the audio via USB, and you're set. The AI Micro does exactly what it did on the iPhone, or even it will go and show you guys how we're doing it on the PC, as well as on the Pixel. It's a straightforward experience, and that's really what I like about it. Very simple and very easy. Now we're on the Pixel 6 Pro, and this is obviously going to be the simplest and easiest way as well. You plug it in and you open up the camera application, and make sure you select the actual microphone being the wired microphone. As I was showing you guys in the setup on Pixel smartphones, it's really nice to have the option of turning it on and turning it off directly out of the default camera app. You don't have to worry about jumping into a Pro mode, and you don't actually necessarily have to use it if you don't want to. So that's the other benefit. Now the last thing, of course, we need to talk about is obviously how does it work with our PC. There's two cables on the box that will work with your PC, either the C to C or a C to A. Depending on your system and your requirement and available ports, this is going to be something you pick out and it works. For me, I'm using the A to C right now because my PC only has one USB-C and I'm using it for the video source into OBS. And I'm also using OBS as my recording software. So main thing that I want to keep in mind again, as I showed you at the beginning with the app, you do need to configure what is the type of output the AI Micro is going to be giving you. Out of the box, it's split, which means channel 1 is for mic 1, channel 2 is for mic 2. So essentially the stereo experience is pretty much a split. If that's the experience you want, then absolutely keep it there, so then you have individual tracks and you can edit them individually and not have that merged audio later on. On the other hand, if you want to be able to keep it very, very simple and have the audio merged automatically, there is a merged feature as well as a stereo feature, and this enables us to have the audio pretty much done and configured straight out of the actual recorder. So again, professional level equipment at a much more affordable price and very easy to use plug and play experience. OBS and the entire Windows PC recognize it automatically as not only a microphone input, but also as a speaker because it does have audio playback. Now, the monitoring feature is also something you can configure with the app. The application itself is called the Rode Recorder, and that's actually available on both Android and iOS. Unfortunately, not on the PC. So up to this point, we've been using the smartlav Plus. This is the microphone I personally like to use and I use with my other wireless Rode wireless solution here in the office. The reason behind that is it has a little bit more of a better audio profile that I personally like. And again, it's considered to be more of a broadcast style microphone. Let's switch over to the lavalier Go and see how the audio changes basically as far as, is it the same type of experience? It's sitting here on my left. Right now, this is the smartlav Plus on the right side. So let's switch audio. And the main difference between the two, you'll notice, is that the audio is a little bit brighter. It's not, I would say, not exactly as condensed or more bassy. So that's one of the big differences that we get when we switch over to the to the lavalier Go. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be good, and doesn't mean that it's not going to provide you the same personal experience. It is a lavalier after all. The main thing you want to keep in mind is, since all of this entire system is wired, do not forget the fact that you are wired and step too far back, because you'll start tugging on whatever system you're using, be it a phone, a PC, or even an Android. All of those things, obviously, wired connections need to be minded about the distance, because wires obviously can only go so far. For me, I found that both these microphones sound great. I like the AI Micro in the way it's flexible and it works with almost any device that we want to be able to bring in audio on a wired solution. Now, you may be wondering, why does Rode make a wired solution when their wireless solution is so much better? Well, because this entry point here, the price point is much lower, provides you almost all of the main benefits, still configures the ability of using it with an app, updating the firmware and so on, but you don't necessarily have to have the wireless connection. So it's definitely more of a different solution for if you're in an environment also that may have wireless concerns or wireless issue. Let's say you're going to CES or a convention where everybody's using wireless, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, RF signals and so on. You may get some interferences where wired connections will obviously circumvent all of that. It's wired, it works straight with what you're using it for. So my hope is that you found something helpful here with the AI Micro, that you could see this potentially helping you improve the audio on your smartphone, on your anything that can use USB-C audio input or USB Type A, or even using it on your PC. For me, it improved the experience entirely, and all my Zoom calls, classes, and everything like that now doesn't actually have to be connected to a wireless solution. My wired solution is on point. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you in the next video.